Good evening, everyone. Welcome to a live session which is about last minute tips and tricks for UCEED and CEED examination. So, as we all know, we just about to begin with the UCEED and CEED examination on which is there on 21st of January, and a lot of our viewers as well as our students had certain doubts. They wanted some more clarity in terms of what needs to be done in the last minute. Okay, obviously this is not a class where we are discussing too much about the topic in detail, but we are going to discuss what you need to keep in mind right before your examination. First of all, carry your admit card. One of the most important thing, and it has happened in in the past, जब students अपना admit card carry करना भूल गए थे. I know it's a very small thing, but why I'm telling you is, please do remember, please keep it in your bags, please carry your ID proof as well along with other essentials. Of course, आप अपना stationery carry करोगे, आप अपने ड्राइंग पैड्स वगैरह कैरी करोगे, बट एडमिट कार्ड मत भूलिए. क्या होगा? इट वुड जस्ट सेव दैट लास्ट मिनट ऑफ रश. दूसरा, डू रीड द लिस्ट ऑफ स्टेशनरी दैट यू नीड टू कैरी विद यू. राइट, बहुत सारे स्टूडेंट्स हमसे पूछ रहे हैं कि हमें कलर्स कैरी करना है कि नहीं, हम स्केच पेन कैरी कर सकते हैं कि नहीं. सो द थिंग इज, एवरीथिंग इज मेंशन इन योर एडमिट कार्ड. प्लीज रिमेंबर कि ये जो एग्जाम है हमारा सीड और यूसीड का, इसमें हमें कोई भी कलरिंग का रिक्वायरमेंट नहीं है. राइट, सो we don't need to carry any color pencils or anything, especially students who are appearing for UCEED. Now this year there is a slight change in the content of UCEED examination. It will be a 1 hour examination. Okay, or it is not of 60 marks as it used to be earlier. It is of 100 marks. Also, जो design aptitude वाला part है, it is not mentioned कि उसमें कितने questions आएंगे. एक drawing वाला आपका part होगा, एक design aptitude होगा. You must have read it in your prospectus, right? So हमें नहीं पता कि उसमें कितने मार्क्स के या कितने क्वेश्चंस आएंगे, वो ऑब्जेक्टिव होंगे या सब्जेक्टिव होंगे. सो आई वांट स्टूडेंट्स टू ब्रश अप देयर डिजाइन एप्टीट्यूड. अब डिजाइन एप्टीट्यूड में क्या आता है? जैसे कि एलिमेंट्स एंड प्रिंसिपल्स ऑफ डिजाइन, जिस्टॉल प्रिंसिपल, कलर थ्योरी बहुत अच्छे से पढ़ के जाइए, लोगोज एंड मैस्कॉट्स बहुत अच्छे से पढ़ के जाइए. एज इन, you should be able to recognize certain logos as well as mascots, right? Do read about colors and color schemes. All of these things do read about. Okay, and also do not forget to go through design history या फिर art history, both global as well as Indian. लाइक फॉर एग्जाम्पल, आपको हो सकता है कोई एक इमेज दे दे और बोले कि ये कौन से एमिनेंट पेंटर ने इसे पेंट किया है. सो यू शुड बी एबल टू रिकग्नाइज कि वो किस पेंटर का काम है, या फिर वो पर्टिकुलर आर्ट वर्क कौन से एरा को बिलोंग करता है. Era in the sense whether it is from the Renaissance era or it is from the Art Deco era, you should be able to recognize. So लास्ट मिनट में आप ये सारे इंफॉर्मेशन को ब्रश अप करना शुरू करिए. ठीक है, देन यू डेफिनेटली नीड टू कैरी शेडिंग पेंसिल्स. ठीक है, लॉट ऑफ स्टूडेंट्स अगेन दे आस्क दैट डज एनी पर्टिकुलर ब्रांड मैटर. सो इट डजंट मैटर. whichever brand you are comfortable with. It can be Natraj, it can be Apsara, okay, it can be Stedlers. whichever pencil you are comfortable with and you have been practicing using those pencils, आप वही carry करिए. Don't experiment during the examination कि let me buy a better quality shading pencils, maybe I'll have a good result. ऐसा नहीं होता है. Whichever pencil you have been practicing with, kindly go and use that only. Then of course it goes without saying you need to have the other stationery items. बहुत ज़्यादा stationery items मत carry करिएगा because it would just add on to your confusion, like smudging tools. Scale आप एक carry करिए, ठीक है. ट्रांसपेरेंट स्केल हो तो चलेगा. ट्राई टू अवॉइड यूजिंग too many extra stationery items. Compass and other things are not required, right? So let's stick to the basics. Yes, also don't forget to carry your ballpoint pen as well. Then of course carry water if you can. And one of the most important thing which students we have seen, we go to the centers and all, and we see students reaching the center at the 11th hour. Okay, please do not do that. Please reach the center on time so that you have ample amount of time to take rest, to understand the environment, to look for your seat, to settle down, to relax, and to try and concentrate and gather all your energies towards those 3 hours. So reaching on time is a must. Please work on your on your route map and everything. Students who are traveling to other cities on during their examination day, they have to work on their timelines. Okay, please try and reach the center at least an hour before. I'm telling you that really helps. आप रिलैक्स रहते हो, आप आराम से उस आपकी नर्वसनेस भी धीरे धीरे जाने लगती है once you start maybe interacting with few other students. So it's much better. Now let's start. I have created this particular PPT keeping in mind certain doubts which our students were having during our few of the classes, few of the previous classes. Now before I move ahead, I would like all of you to first of all subscribe to our channel, and secondly KP classes का जो ऐप है, okay, KP design preparation का जो ऐप है, please download it. Once you go on our app, you will find a lot of material which has been provided to you students for free. So you should be able to benefit from those information which are available for free. And there are certain test series which are just been provided to the students at an amount of 10 rupees. So I think so in the last minute that will be really helpful. So if you are watching this video, you can pause it and you can go download our app, KP Classes Exam Prep app, and check out all the courses which are available, and whatever suits you, just जो free material है, of course you can study from that, and past year question papers and test series which we have put there, you can always download them. Okay, so let's start. So points to keep in mind during the exam day, मैंने अभी आपको बता दिया है. These are few things that you have to keep in mind. There is nothing majorly anything that you need to worry about. Okay, also do not get nervous. It's okay, you all have done very well, and now is the time just to gather all your energies to this one particular place, concentrate and go with a positive mindset during your examination. Do not panic. Okay, you have already done whatever you had to do, and always remember that you always have options. You can always make use of your time and the opportunities that you are getting later on. So don't panic, right? Well, what do we have over here? I have compiled some of the very common topics that come in both CEED as well as UCEED. सीड की हम थोड़ी ज़्यादा बात करेंगे यहाँ पे, बिकॉज द काइंड ऑफ questions you have in seed are more in number. We have 5 questions that are coming in the seed examination as compared to one question which was previously asked in UCEED. Of course इस साल number of questions UCEED में भी बढ़ जाएगा, but seed के लिए you have to, the first topic that you have to keep in mind is visual thinking. Now what is visual thinking? Visual thinking has been described as seeing words as a series of picture. ठीक है, simple है. Like I say happiness, so you don't look at the word in terms of alphabets, you might think in terms of visuals. कि happiness बोला एकदम से दिमाग में आ गया balloons या cake या somebody smiling, right? या फिर one flower or a garden, so anything. So when you start thinking in terms of visual, it is visual thinking. Now is the time कि आप अपने thought process पे थोड़ा सा introspect करिए. अगर आप कोई वर्ड सुनते हो तो आपके दिमाग में क्या आता है, ठीक है? अगर इस समय आपको डिजाइन ब्लॉक हो रहा है, सो आई हैव अ सजेशन फॉर यू, go and watch some nice movie. Okay, go and watch some nice movie which helps you or triggers your thought process. Okay, कुछ अच्छा एनिमेशन देखिए, कोई साई-फाई मूवी देखिए जो अगेन आपके थॉट प्रोसेस को ट्रिगर करेगा. विजुअल थिंकिंग फर्स्ट टॉपिक हमारा जो सीड में बहुत कॉमनली आता है वो होता है डूडलिंग एक्सरसाइजेस. अगेन अ लॉट ऑफ स्टूडेंट्स दे आर लाइक कि व्हेन वी सी दोज बॉक्सेस ऑफ डूडल्स विथ फ्यू एलिमेंट्स इन इट, दैट इज अ टाइम हमें नहीं समझ में आता है, हम रिलेट नहीं कर पाते हाउ डू वी स्टार्ट इट, या फिर हमें उसमें क्या बनाना चाहिए या उसको कैसे फिल करना चाहिए. नाउ फर्स्ट वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट स्टफ, हमारे पास देर इज अ टाइम लिमिट. ओके, देर इज अ टाइम कंस्ट्रेंट. वी जस्ट हैव 2 hours फॉर सीड एग्जामिनेशन and we have 1 hour for UCEED examination. So you have to time yourself very well. Okay, now when you get these questions related to doodling, you cannot really waste time and start thinking and imagining. So what do? सबसे पहले तो this is something that you should be doing before your examination. So seeing, imagining and drawing that reflects your visual mind. ये छोटे कुछ एक्सरसाइजेस हैं जो आज आप 1-2 दिन में करिए, right? Of course we just have tomorrow's day. So for example, whatever you are seeing all around you, right? चाहे वो स्विच बोर्ड हो, चाहे एक लैपटॉप हो, चाहे ये पोडियम या टेबल हो, स्टार्ट स्केचिंग देम क्विकली, नॉट इन टर्म्स ऑफ ऑब्जेक्ट ड्राइंग बट इन टर्म्स ऑफ कि अगर हमें एक रूम का, ठीक है, रूम को डिस्क्राइब करना हो तो हम उसमें क्या क्या एलिमेंट्स भरेंगे, राइट? सो एक बॉक्स के अंदर यू स्टार्ट फिलिंग अप दोज एलिमेंट्स इन अ वेरी डूडल मीन्स योर इनिशियल आइडियाज. ओके, जहाँ पे आपको ड्राइंग का उतना आउटकम का ध्यान नहीं देना है, यू जस्ट क्विकली स्क्रिबलिंग इट. नीटनेस का ऑफ कोर्स आपको ध्यान रखना है. सो you are sitting in your living room or you are sitting in your study room, quickly draw the room in terms of a doodle. Okay, जितने भी एलिमेंट्स आपको दिख रहे हैं, कोई छोटा एलिमेंट है या कोई बड़ा एलिमेंट है, उसको तुरंत एज इट इज बनाइए. Another thing I suggest my students are like when you open up your computers, laptop, and you are seeing a computer screen. Like I have a computer screen right here in front of me. So you'll see so many images. You'll see arrow, you'll see pictograms, you'll see some particular logos. तो आप उनको छोटा छोटा जैसे हम कुछ सोचते हैं और हमारे हाथ चलते हैं, हम उनको ड्रॉ करते रहते हैं. Do that exercise. I'm telling you that really triggers you to start thinking. Like what we have in this particular page, there are so many things happening, right? So many different elements, yet drawn in a very simplistic manner. This is exactly what you have to do. If I think about an online class, तो मेरे दिमाग में क्या विजुअल्स आते हैं? I would definitely be taking up visuals or elements from my computer screen. If I think about a holiday, तो मेरे दिमाग में क्या क्या एलिमेंट्स आएगा, मे बी अ एरोप्लेन, अ ग्लोब, कॉफी, सी, buses, right? Boarding passes, passports, ice cream. So many things would come to my mind, right? Depending upon what experiences you had in the past. So simply you have to put them, and you just putting elements like, see these lines. What are these? These are elements. These signify like it's looking like either a postcard or a page from a diary, right? So this is exactly what you have to do. Now, it's fun to be crazy. Always remember this. जब भी आप किसी design entrance exam में जा रहे हो, or you're designing, or you're working on an artwork, or working on a concept, please remember this. It's always fun to think out of the box. Be a little crazy. Don't be afraid to experiment. Okay. Next, now here on my screen you can see an example of those doodles that has been given in an examination, right? And it clearly says, imagination is the power of mind. Some visual elements can come together to create a bigger picture. Observe the visual elements that you see in the boxes provided to in your answer booklet. Complete the visual elements based on your imagination. It may be a character, a product, a landscape, etc. Using the given elements, complete the first four. यहाँ पे instruction दिया हुआ है. You have to complete them, and maybe using the other elements you have to work on the last one. Now, examples have been already given to you. It can be a character, product, landscape, or group of elements. Now with landscape I don't mean कि आपको हमेशा एक scenery बनाना है. It can be a composition also. Okay. So one very important thing over here. So when you look at these lines, lot of students, they try to look at it as a product. They try to think कि इसका क्या बन सकता है, क्या ये फ्लावर है, क्या ये एक छतरी है, क्या ये एक एरोप्लेन है? नो, डोंट थिंक इन दैट मैनर. ओके, थिंक व्हाट यू वांट टू डू. फॉर एग्जांपल, I have an example for you. So the first one I have taken over here, right, and I have converted into a doodle where we are reflecting on education. I have taken up elements which signifies studies, education, and I have very randomly, very quickly put them together just to give you an idea. So when I saw these two lines, I did not see them as a product. I just started drawing simple elements, simple shapes, and started converting it into something meaningful. आपको यही करना है. You have to be really quick, because the doodling exercises that you will be getting in examination, you might get around say 8 to 10 of them. And previously the feedback that I got from my students was that it took them ages to complete it. Why? Because somewhere or the other maybe their thought process was not right. When you are looking at something, you start relating it कि यार इसका क्या बनेगा, अगर मैं इसका एक सांप बना दूं और इसका एक घर बना दूं तो will it make sense? So the thing is, you have to first start with some elements, have a theme in your mind. Say for example, if I have a theme like holiday for this, right? So I should be able to do something. Maybe I make a paper, I have already made a paper aeroplane. So this could be a map, right? This could be converted into a bus. I can add other things which are related to the holiday. Right, so we can do that. Always have some theme in your mind and then start working instead of having a product in your mind. Okay. So the next extremely important topic that will come in your examination for both CEED and UCEED. अब हम UCEED की भी बात करेंगे, right? Is memory drawing. Okay. Excuse me. What is memory drawing? Memory drawing is making a composition from of a particular scene that you must have seen earlier or must have happened in your life. जैसे भी हो, एक सीन आपको दिया जाएगा और डिस्क्रिप्शन दिया जाएगा और आपको उसको ड्रॉ करना है. नाउ क्या हमें यहाँ पे याद रखना है? सबसे पहले तो कोई भी अगर आपको सीन है, read the question properly. We need to be really thorough with our understanding of the questions. Okay, especially in UCEED, because one particular drawing question that you will be getting will be like in a paragraph format. Okay, उसके बहुत सारे parts होंगे, बहुत सारे elements होंगे. So write down those elements. If they have written that there is a boy named Nandu and he's dancing in his room, he's taking an online class, dancing in his room, and his mother has come inside the room and is appreciating him, and there's a cat sleeping beside him. So ये सारे छोटे छोटे elements है जो आपको कहीं ना कहीं पे लिख के रखना है तुरंत, simultaneously while you are reading. Okay, so you have to make a boy who's Nandu, उसका नाम है. You have to make a laptop or a computer screen, you have to make a room, you have to make it look as if कि वो एक टीनेजर का रूम है, उसकी मदर को आपको बनाना पड़ेगा, एक कैट बनानी पड़ेगी, एंड अदर few important elements as well. Also, keeping in mind the perspective. कोई भी composition बना रहे, कोई भी scene drawing बना रहे, always keep in mind that you have to make it in perspective. Now, what perspective you have to make? Any perspective that is easy for you. Like, so over here I would not say that if a scene has been given to you, until and unless try and understand if it's written that a girl is watching from her balcony and she is looking at the road which is there ahead of her, so obviously you will have to make it a little bit in 3-point. You have to show that the person is looking at it from a top view, right? So keep those things in mind, keep the eye levels and everything in mind, but you really don't have to think that okay, I have to specifically make it in 2-point or specifically make it in 1-point. ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. Whatever composition, whatever placement is easy for you, start with that. Now, I have shown a particular image over here. Now, what is the significance of this? So, in UCEED and CEED, you don't really need to give too much of detailing in terms of shading. You have to do line drawing. Okay, maximum आपका line drawing होना चाहिए. ठीक है, maximum detail that you can give through line drawing, that is required. Now, if you are doing a particular scene, यहाँ पे I have shown an exterior. Now again, if you are doing say a tea shop or a cobbler who's working, use certain elements as fillers. So if you are making a cobbler, make a wall behind him, right? अगर बहुत ज़्यादा कोई specification नहीं दिया गया. Then also use trees like over here. You can see these areas. Use trees as fillers to fill up certain space on your page. It's a very good way to utilize certain things. Okay. Then do not forget to make doodles here as well. So don't just start working on your answer sheets directly. First, make small doodles and see which composition suits you. Again, keep in mind the timelines. Okay, you cannot take so it's a 2 hours examination for CEED and 1 hour examination for UCEED based on the number of questions. कुछ questions में CEED में आपको शायद कम duration लगेगा, कुछ में ज़्यादा लगेगा, but see to it that you have evenly distributed your time. 5 questions है और 2 घंटा है हमारे पास, right? और end में हमें थोड़ा time अपना देना पड़ेगा to go through your answers, जैसे हम स्कूल के बोर्ड एग्जाम्स में करते थे, right? So maximum 15 to 20 minutes on each question. Don't go beyond 15 minutes. In fact, I would say जैसे 15 minutes हो जाए, stop, go on to the next question. Okay, so that end में जो भी time बचेगा हमारे पास, we can again go back and complete your paper. So use certain fillers. Trees are one of the very good ways of working on it, राइट, फिलर्स जो आपके स्पेस को यूटिलाइज करता है। दूसरा, so you have a day left, right? Utilize this time to work on human figures. जो basic human postures कुछ होते हैं, start working on them. Maybe take 5 human figures and just memorize them. Standing position, sitting position, human in some particular action from your day-to-day life. So memorize them so that when you're drawing human figures, when you're adding human figures, say over here as part of the crowd, so it would not take much time. So these are the things that you have to keep. If you have to show the crowd, और क्राउड में आपको कोई पर्टिकुलर ह्यूमन पर्सन को एक पर्टिकुलर एक्शन करते हुए दिखाना है, तो कीप योर फोकस ऑन वन ह्यूमन फिगर एंड रेस्ट एवरी other human figures could have less detail and could be small in size. So these are the things that you need to keep in mind when you are working on memory drawing. Okay, utilize the space, utilize the page properly. Like over here you can see very basic human figures have been drawn and an ice cream seller has been drawn over here. Please stick to line drawing. You are not required to do any sort of shading, so don't waste your time shading your artwork. Okay, you would not really gain anything out of it. ऐसा नहीं है कि किसी ने shading की तो उसको ज़्यादा marks मिलेगा. Marks will be given based on the number of elements and detailing that you have done, जो कि आप line drawing और pencil से भी कर सकते हो. Next is very important topic again, product design. Okay, product design we are focusing more from in terms of UCEED. Now you will get a question based on product design. Like last year I think you were asked to draw a cloth iron. उससे पहले students had to draw a mixer grinder. So look at all the detailings of consumer goods that you have in your house, be it a sandwich maker or a hair dryer or maybe a blender, hand blender. So look at them, see what sort of detailings they have, what are the demarcations they have, what kind of switches, and what are mentioned in terms of symbols on those appliances. Check those things out लास्ट मिनट, क्योंकि जो लास्ट मिनट में अगर ये चीज़ें अगर आप चेक कर रहे हो और देख रहे हो, या फिर आप जो डे टू डे आइटम यूज़ करते हो, लाइक क्लॉथ आयरन इज समथिंग दैट एवरीबडी हैज़ यूज्ड, गीज़र इज समथिंग दैट एवरीबडी यूजेस एवरी डे, राइट, या फिर मे बी kettle, electric kettle or something. So check those things out thoroughly जो आपके आसपास में है. Next is, please remember that whatever product or object you have to draw, look at them in terms of basic shapes. ठीक है, you have to, before start drawing them, before making them too complicated, break it into basic shapes. ठीक है, बेसिक शेप्स में आप उसको कन्वर्ट करोगे और फिर आप धीरे धीरे उसमें डिटेलिंग्स डालना शुरू करिए. यहाँ पे आप स्टेप बाय स्टेप चलिए. सो फ्रॉम बेसिक शेप to little bit of detailing to features, adding features. What are the different features that you want to add in your product? क्योंकि आप product design कर रहे हो, you're coming up with a new product. Again, do read the question properly. Do they want you to just take inspiration from, say, maybe an image that has been given to you? Do they want you to do that? तो आप उस केस में you have to study the design language of that particular image that has been given to you. In case a problem is given to you, कि जैसे there are these maybe your grandfather or grandmother, they are at home and they are facing problem in using certain appliances. So what design solution would you give them, or what new appliances you would come up with so that उनके लाइफ का जो भी प्रॉब्लम या जो भी आपको प्रॉब्लम वहाँ पे मेंशन किया गया उसका आप सोल्यूशन दे रहे हो. सो इट कैन बी बोथ वेज. इट कैन बी getting inspiration, taking inspiration from a given image right? Or it could be a scenario which has been given to you जहाँ से आपको problem का solution देना है and you have to come up with the product. So write them down again in rough. For whom are you making it? For what sort of problem solutions are you going to give? What features are you adding, right? Also, one good thing, CEED examination are extremely close-ended. They would mention each and everything what is required. It's not like NID or it's not like NIFT जहाँ पे it is open-ended question. It is open to interpretation by the students. Do read the question properly, read the guidelines properly, और आपको जितना बोला गया है आप उतना ही आंसर करोगे, कुछ भी एक्स्ट्रा मत करिए, because anything extra would require some extra time. आप ही का टाइम वेस्ट होगा और again it won't be of any good use. So here keep this in mind. Basic shapes, then complicated and add features. Now let's talk about design language. A lot of students, they have an issue in interpreting the design language. Now please remember that every student can interpret certain features in their own way, right? But of course there are certain parameters. So यहाँ पे ना एक image दिया गया है. This particular image is a top view of a movie scene. एक movie का scene है where the protagonist is going towards his car, right? So this image has been given to you. Now if you have to create a product based on this image, so obviously you have to translate the design language, okay, that has been given in the image into your product. So किस तरीके से design language translate किया गया है, let's see that. So we are looking at contrast, okay, we can see a lot of contrast, we can see a focal point. I'm sure everybody must be looking at this particular point that is creating a kind of focal point. Then how element is moving towards the focal point. You can see the elements seem to be moving towards the focal point and there is a kind of hierarchy, and the black spot which is there, these are like the black spot, and the same thing has been interpreted in this particular product. So there is a focal point, there is a black spot, which is, there is hierarchy also, which is this particular element, which is the most important element, is bigger in size. You have different elements and depending upon the hierarchy, the sizing has been done. Okay, and here the final product, and it seems to be that these smaller elements are actually there to support the bigger element, which is this. So you, whenever you are looking at a particular image or a product, look at points like contrast, line quality, whether it is edgy or whether it is curvy, what sort of forms have been used over there. Are they simple geometric forms? Is it a natural form? Is it an abstract form, right? Look at the color scheme. Which family of colors have been used? What sort of color scheme has been used? You have to keep that in mind. Is there a focal point over there? What principles is it following? Is it following balance? In balance also, radial balance, symmetrical balance, asymmetrical balance. Then you have rhythm, whether the image has rhythm or not, whether it has a particular emphasis or not. So you need to think, you have to, tick mark on all the boxes, right? जितने भी हमारे elements and principles of design और color theory थे, वो सारे boxes पे आप tick करो. यहाँ पे जो boxes में tick हुआ है, जैसे इस image में rhythm है, यहाँ पे rhythm के साथ साथ focal point भी है, तो आपने उन boxes पे tick कर दिया, and same वही elements और वही design language आप अपने product में translate करोगे, ठीक है? So next one, again this particular question very common, हर बार आता है, problem solving and identification. Now there is one particular thing about this problem solving and identification is that either you have to write down the problems, you will be given an image, look at the image, and pinpoint on the problems, or you have to give solutions in terms of image as well as write up. So ये कहीं ना कहीं पे it is also judging your observation and how well you can analyze and provide a solution, or simply pick up or pinpoint on a particular problem. So हमारे को what are the steps? Undesired or unwelcome situation. What do we mean by identifying problems? Undesired or unwelcome situation. Identifying and solving such issues in a simplified manner. ये word याद रखना. Simplified. They will not expect you rocket science level का solution. No. डे टू डे सिंपल इंसान के लाइफ में आप किस तरीके से एक पर्टिकुलर प्रॉब्लम का सोल्यूशन दे सकते हो, योर एग्जामिनर्स आर लुकिंग एट दैट. ओके, सो सिंप्लिसिटी एंड सिंप्लिफिकेशन इज द की ओवर हियर. डू नॉट ओवर कॉम्प्लिकेट. ओके, सो आइडेंटिफिकेशन, एनालाइजिंग, सॉल्यूशंस. आइडेंटिफाई करिए, एनालाइज करिए और फिर अपना सोल्यूशन दीजिए अगर सोल्यूशन मांगा गया है तो. In a lot of cases, they might just ask you to identify the problem. They might not ask you to give a solution. Or they want you to verbally, as in you have to just write down the analysis and you have to give a pictorial solution. Now that solution could be multiple solutions as well, right? Either you draw a particular product or you draw all the features of the product that needs certain rectifications. So that depends on the question, right? So again, I would say that read the question properly. There is no hard and fast rule. There is no one particular, key way of asking this question, right? Then, what type of questions come? So I'll quickly discuss that. आपके डे टू डे इश्यूज हो सकते हैं, कोई डे टू डे इशू से रिलेटेड कोई क्वेश्चन हो सकता है बेस्ड ऑन डेली लाइफ प्रॉब्लम्स. कि ब्रश कर रहे हो, टूथब्रश में प्रॉब्लम है, पानी एक्स्ट्रा खर्च हो रहा है, राइट? या फिर आप कहीं शॉप में जा रहे हो एंड यू हैव टू कैरी लॉट ऑफ प्रोडक्ट्स, सो व्हाट सॉल्यूशंस कुड बी गिवन टू यू. या फिर आपके घर में बहुत ज़्यादा कूड़ा जमा हो रहा है and you're not able to manage your waste in terms of segregating them, so what solutions can come up? So things that are happening to you in your day-to-day life, personal experiences and individual issues, right? Personal experiences and individual issue. One issue could be like, I have that issue, too much screen time, I really want to get rid of it. Okay, and that's why I have set up an alarm in my phone that if I'm using too much of my screen time in terms of Instagram or something, there's an app that I had downloaded, so it would just flash that time to take a break, right? So इस तरह की चीजें आपको day to day और personal जो problems हैं that could be mentioned and you have to come up with a solution. Always work with empathy. ठीक है? Put yourself in the shoe of the consumer. और या फिर if it is a solution for yourself, then obviously you will be thinking about yourself. So empathize with the problem, empathize with the person who might be facing this problem, and you should be able to come up with a very good solution. Next is design flaws. Based on product design या handling issue, ergonomics or unsuitability. ठीक है? Like existing product not very useful to or not agronomically viable for somebody to use it. So क्या हो सकता है in that cases, right? So again, a mix of product design as well as problem solving activity. Next is how do we solve these particular questions. So I have already told you certain tips. Just to sum it up, think and inquire about the subject matter. Integrating thinking process. Okay, your thinking process has to be in a very empathizing manner. Okay, strategize and plan, analyze and evaluate, creating awareness about the environment, and developing aesthetic sense and sensitivity. Do not forget this. A lot of students, they do not really take the aesthetic aspect in consideration. Please do that, okay? Because you as a designer, apart from giving solution to a particular problem, aesthetics and sensitivity is also something which is of very high value. So you have to really take care of this aspect. Do not forget that, okay? And at the end, all of these things said and done, do not forget the time limit as well. Next is visual communication. Now, visual communication is a very, very broad topic. In very easy language, I would say it is about graphic design, where you are trying to communicate your ideas visually. Logo designing, mascots, posters, advertisements, hoardings, right? Pictograms, making symbols, all of these particular questions, they fall under visual communication. And you will be getting one question based on your ability to come up with very good and interactive graphics. So, brush up your understanding of logos, understanding of symbols, understanding of pictograms and mascots, and look at interesting hoardings, advertisements and poster design to brush up and to get more ideas right before your examination. Okay, so again, this was one of the final topics that I wanted to discuss. To sum up, you have to relax. You have already done whatever you had to do. Also, before we end, I wanted to tell you a little bit about the part A as well. So, part A has various sections. Now, don't just jump into any random section. Go to the section which you have prepared the best and which you are comfortable and confident in. Now, remember, UCEED and CEED, the part A, is not designed that you have to attempt all the questions, but start with attempting question which you know absolutely well. Also, the marks weightage of CEED part A is 25% and part B is 75%. So you have to keep in mind that you should be reaching the cutoff. You should be able to get a good marks, and you have to reach the cutoff, which generally is somewhere around 25 to 30 marks every year. After that, your drawing part or part B will be very, very effective in terms of getting a good rank. Same goes for UCEED examination also. Do not hurry or do not get panic and start attempting the wrong questions. Remember, there is negative marking and you might lose a lot of marks in negative marking also. So, you have to start with the questions which you are absolutely sure about. And keep in mind that the part A will only be evaluated when your part B will only be evaluated once you have reached the cutoff of part A. So be confident, relax, do not overstress, do not rush through all the questions, read them properly and then attempt them. Remember, the idea is to reach the cutoff, okay, and your part B will take care of the rest to get you a good rank. So here we'll end the session, and students, all the best to you. And if you haven't downloaded our app, which is KP Classes Exam Prep, please do it right away before your examination. Maybe it will be helpful for you. Maybe you can make use of the free lectures that are available over here, like the topics that I showed to you. The recorded lectures are available on the app as well. So kindly go download the app, subscribe to our channel, and you can also give us a call in case you have any doubts related to this particular course. Thank you and all the best.